take it to 'em. Ruin their motivation to survive. Robbers side is like a jungle, hold the rest of an egg. You couldn't hold me like the tongue, your knees collapsing away. Gorilla hearted, I be in my chest to stay alive. Hey.
This is David Oman, and David lives in a haunted house. Yeah, we know how that sounds. It sounds nuts, right? Especially considering he doesn't live in anything that looks anything like what people think of when they think haunted house. When people think haunted house, they mostly think this. But David built this really cool place on a hillside in one of the coolest areas of the hills surrounding Los Angeles. It's super modern looking, it's got a great view of Dr. Phil's house, hardwood floors, stainless steel appliances that make you think, come on, that's not a haunted house. But here's the thing. You know that old saying, location, location, location? Yeah, well, it turns out that the land is 200 feet from where some really famous people were murdered in the most sinister way by some followers who followed a guy who really was nuts.
In a scene described by one investigator as reminiscent of a weird religious rite, 5 persons, including film star Sharon Tate, were found dead at the home of Ms. Tate and her husband, film director Roman Polanski.
Yeah, there you have it. David's house is conveniently located on the famous Cielo Drive next to the property where the notorious Sharon Tate murders took place. And the crazy thing is, that house was being demolished at the same time David was building his. And David's builders were getting pretty spooked by some pretty spooky stuff during construction.
Hey, I hear these noises, these footsteps and voices upstairs. And I'm alone, or at least I'm supposed to be. So I go up and I look and I find nothing. I even came out here and it was nothing.
But one thing about David, he doesn't get spooked by spooky stuff. He gets intrigued. And after hearing and seeing some pretty weird things in his new digs, he put up cameras in every corner of the house he could, rolled tape, and captured his paranormal roommates doing their thing.
My hair got pulled.
What?
I'm not joking, my hair got pulled.
Then after showing the tape to some of the world's most famous paranormal experts, they started showing up, and the house got pretty famous. It's been on TV shows, there was a movie based on it, and people caught on and wanted to take tours and have seances. But then it gets even weirder because the more digging he did, the more creepy the story of the house and the circumstances surrounding it were. So we're going to give the lovers of the paranormal a pretty awesome top-to-bottom spirited look at one of the most active locations on Earth. Because the truth is, David really does live in a haunted house. And it's pretty awesome.
Fuck yeah, we got David Oman again this week. I love talking to David Oman. He's one of my good friends from Hollyweird. Lives right, like you just saw, he lives right down the street from where Sharon Tate and Jay Sebring and Abigail Folger and whoever else was in that house got slaughtered by those kids. Creepy, creepy stuff. So we'll have him on in 10 minutes. His movie just got released, which is a drama about the house at the end of the drive. That'll be fun. So welcome, brave thinkers. We're back. We're better than Jesus on Easter. We actually came back, right? Welcome, brave thinkers, to the electrifying realm of dangerous thoughts. Here we fearlessly plunge into the turbulent waters of controversy. We explore the untamed territories of subjects often deemed too risky for discussion. But fear not. This is a fearless sanctuary. We fear no topic, no question, no concept. Each night we unravel the strands of what society deems perilous, inviting you to join our relentless pursuit of understanding. Our mission? To delve deeper, to challenge assumptions, to embolden discourse, conversation. And guess what? You're not a mere spectator. You're an integral part of this riveting expedition like running down a river. With the DT family, you can just click on our Discord link, or you can send a DM to @subscriptpirate on what's that thing called? X. I always want to call it Twitter. It's just never gonna
the Bird app
for me. The Bird app, where you can tweet. I actually watched an interview with Lex Friedman when he was interviewing Musk, and Musk was like, people, even like corporate media outlets are sharing their whole episode of their TV series on Twitter now. So I get it. Twitter's not quite a tweet anymore. Like a whole episode of a TV show, a monologue, a video for minutes and minutes. It's no longer it's no longer 144 characters. It's a whole different platform. So I get it. X though, I don't know why. I wonder why I chose X. Probably because it's like the porn channel too, right? That's my only.
Well, that's
guess.
all you get anymore, right? Are porn bots. What were the last 10 people that followed you? They were busty women that had nothing on their wall that just wanted you to follow them so they could send you a link saying how lucky you are and how horny she feels, right? That's all.
And she would love to talk to me on a different platform. Right. Why don't I go over there and see whatever the fuck she wants me to see? Or he.
There you go.
Because there's a lot of dick on X too.
Oh, I've been looking. I haven't found. Oh, we're still recording. Hello.
Hey, so yeah, this is Dangerous Thoughts. This is my co-host. His name is Tyson Strasberg. He's back. We're back. It's great. Isn't it great to be better than Jesus?
I'm still scared of the afterlife. I'm not trying to make that claim. You're gonna go down with that one.
Are you Christian?
On your own.
Are you Christian?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
You're gay and Christian? I love it. That's cute. I really do. I love it.
No, there are actually people who are gay and Republican. Now that.
Oh, it's
that
so weird. Yeah, I've met a couple of those guys actually. One of them, a sweet friend of mine, passed away, and he was such a good guy. But yeah, the gay Republican thing is pretty wild. They exist. There's a lot of them actually. Human beings are a strange species. So I want to tell you guys, if you're watching Dangerous Thoughts, if you're a fan of the program, please share the program on your social media. Also, if you're watching washing your clothes, if you're watching Dangerous Thoughts, hit that like and subscribe button. It really helps us out. If you take the time to do that, we get more and more followers and more people. And at some point, X will pay us for all of our verbal pornography. Okay, on to the monologue. What happened this week? An article was released about me and my social media controversy leading to the death of the Icheb character on Star Trek. I posted a little bit about it on the Porn X channel. The article had a few things wrong. One, it said because I said Hispanics were morons for voting for Trump that I'm a racist. And the article said that I was somehow a conservative at the same time and a homophobic. So I want to correct a few things. One, you are a moron if you vote for Trump, Hispanic or otherwise. If you vote for Trump or Biden, you're a fucking idiot. Both are elite corporate whores. I'm not a conservative. I'm not a liberal. Like most people, you'll find me somewhere down the middle. I think that's what most of us really are, labelless people that believe in all sorts of different ideologies. Two, as far as a racist, I don't believe in race. And when I said that, I got a bunch of shit for it. And really, when I say that I don't believe in race, I mean, I love culture. I love different people's culture, different people's culture around the world. But there's no such thing as race in my mind, unless you're talking about the human race.
The human race, exactly.
Yeah, that's it. And three, I'm not a homophobe. I'm married to my heterosexual life mate, Valerie Marie. And let's make this like all like, oh, he's about to say something. Oh, what's he gonna say? Oh, it's gonna be like amazing. What is it? I'm a bisexual, you fucking morons. And if you don't believe me, ask my wife all about it. She'll gladly fill you in on all the times I cheated with her for dick. You
got to do what you got to do.
You got to do what you got to do. I mean, look, hey, bisexuals, they don't get enough, they don't get enough coverage, truthfully. So I actually was watching Jared Carmichael's show that he won an Emmy for, is his coming out special. It was called Rothaniel. If you don't know who Jared Carmichael is, he's a brilliant comedian. But he did this special called Rothaniel, and it was pretty bold stuff. And he came out on stage, and he'd done like 8 specials before that, kind of masquerading as a straight black man. And it was a beautiful special. You should really see it. It's called Rothaniel. But he came out, and it was bold for him to come out on that huge platform. But something about that still bothers me a little bit, that's bold. I think that's sort of a bummer. It's like, with the systemic racism in America taking hundreds of years for blacks, and they're still fighting for acceptance. And how long is this gay rights and women's rights thing going to take? I wonder if we're ever going to accept anything about human beings' sexuality and skin color as natural to human beings.
Right.
What do you think, Tyson? Are we ever going to get there?
I can't wait for the day when we no longer need to have gay pride parades, when we don't have to have LGBT centers, when we don't have to have other organizations like the NAACP and others that have to advocate because they aren't treated equally. I mean, when you walk into a room, people assume you're heterosexual, right? I mean, that's the assumption until they're told otherwise. That's just what people assume. It would be nice to have everybody just be unassuming of, oh, you're white, you must be a Christian, or you must be straight, or you must, you live in a rural place, you must be a Republican. People have preconceptions and unconscious biases, where, if you're a white person, you're walking down a street late at night and a couple of black youths are walking towards you. Do you cross the street? Are you racist if you cross the street?
Are you racist?
What I would love the day when we don't have to deal with any of that anymore. We don't need that anymore. And
do you think it's ever going to happen? Do you think it's hundreds of years away, tens of years away?
I think a lot of it is when we find the commonality that binds us all. For example, if ET were to come down, remember Independence Day? If ET were to come down and threaten the planet, I think we would unify, right, as a species to protect our world. But until something like that, how do you overcome these biases?
But I hope that ET would be like a pacifist fag. I don't want ET to be a threatening. I don't want
Roger Smith from American Dad, right?
Yeah,
Roger Smith
yeah.
from American
I want
Dad.
ET to come down and just be like, "Hey, man, you guys want a bone and you want to have some peace and love?" That's what I want ET to be like. So I watched The Truth versus Alex Jones on HBO this week too. That documentary scared the shit out of me. One, because I used to love Alex Jones when he was outing the Carlisle group and the Bilderberg group, and he was talking about 9/11 and us knocking our own towers down and it being false flag. Like, I was into all that shit, and I was like, this guy's genius. But suddenly the guy just fucking lost his mind, and he became this like right-wing conservative, what's that stuff called? Supplement selling asshole.
Like Hulk Hogan. All right, be a man.
Yeah, take some of my colloidal silver right up your ass. So he got in a bunch of trouble on this documentary for being he picked on the Sandy Hook parents for like 10 years.
God.
And it's pretty cold. Look, Sandy Hook, I'm a conspiracy theorist myself. I think the CIA is up to all sorts of shit. I think Alex Jones is actually onto something when it comes to mass shootings in America and why they're happening and how they're happening, and whether they're a government program in some way, shape, or form to try to disarm us and take our guns and make more gun laws. But he went off the fucking cliff of conspiracy, and he called Sandy Hook a hoax, like they spent millions and millions of dollars to make it look like a mass shooting didn't happen. And he picked on all these parents, and it was fucked up. But having said that, look, it was cold what he did. He sent people to these parents' houses and we know your child's alive and tell us where they are and really harassed these people. But the other thing that scared me is they got $1 billion settlement against him in civil court. And I thought, like, is America getting that weak to the point where if our feelings are hurt by something somebody says online or on YouTube or on TV or anywhere in a big public forum, and your feelings get hurt, suddenly you're owed 50 million or 100 million or $1
Well,
billion?
in that particular case, he had such a big following that a lot of his fans and people who believed what he was saying, those people were going to the houses of the victims. I mean, they lost a child, and now they have these crazy conspiracy people in their front yard knocking on their
Where's your
door and
kid?
threatening them. And
I
yeah,
know
and
he's a liar.
I mean, they had to sell their homes, they had to
Liar.
move, they had to change their names,
Yeah.
they had to. I mean, in that case, yes, yeah, sue him for $1 billion. If it was
$1
just,
billion
if well, look at
for
all
your
the stuff they had to
feelings?
go through. Not for
I
their
know they
feelings,
had
for
to
having
go
to
through a lot of
move,
shit.
yeah.
Yeah.
Now, if somebody wants to go online and say Tyson's an asshole, he's a fag, whatever, fine. I've got a thick skin, I can take it. But if people start coming to my house, if I have to change my name, if I have to move, if I have to hire security, someone's
You want
getting
your
sued.
50 million.
I want my 50 million and a blowjob by a cute Asian, but that's just gravy.
That's just gravy. Yeah. Your Honor, can you also? The other thing that scared me about the whole documentary is,
by the way, Happy Easter. Happy Easter.
Happy Easter, everybody. Happy Easter. Praise Jesus. The other thing that scared me is so many people, like 50% of Americans, are just watching shit on the internet and they believe it without any fact checking. Disinformation is as powerful as it's ever been, and corporate news media uses it just as much as the fucking internet. So it's harder and harder for people to see the truth instead of reality. I actually have a CIA quote that I want to pull up. I'm hoping my producer has it up. So the CIA said, back in the beginning, the quote was something to the effect of, by the time our disinformation program is complete, the American public, everything the American public believes, there it is. We'll know our disinformation program is complete when everything the American public believes is false. William Casey, CIA director from the first staff meeting of 1981. That's a scary quote. That quote scares me bad. So if you had a multi-trillion-dollar black budget every year, like we know the CIA does, they could do a lot of things to program us to believe this, that, or the other. And another thing that I was watching was that Lex Friedman interview not the Lex Friedman interview, but the Tucker Carlson interview with Putin. And Putin was like, you can't fight a propaganda battle with America. They own all the media. They program reality. And I thought that was a really good answer from Mr. Putin. So what I want to tell people is, if you're out there and you see, speaking of Putin, the other day I was looking at my social media and I saw this thing come up that said Putin digs up a temple somewhere and finds proof of Black Jesus and that Jesus was black. And then Putin went on the national airwaves of Russia and told people that it was time that they needed to accept that Jesus was black. And truthfully, I believe that Jesus was black, but that's beyond the point. The point is, Putin never fucking did that. Putin didn't dig in a fucking well and find some proof that Jesus was black. And he didn't tell everybody in his country to start worshiping Black Jesus. But because of that little thing, a bunch of my African-American friends had shared it and they'd start talking to each other and they showed it to me. And then people don't fact check. People don't fact check anymore. People look at the internet, they watch something and they just whether it's an HBO show or a YouTube show, they just believe it. They don't actually take the time to really dig in and fact check and really look at what they're going to tell people about what they've seen or heard before they do it. So it's this crazy, crazy time in America. So I just want to tell people to, like, look into stuff before you start telling your friends that it's the truth.
Well, think about 1981 and what the CIA was doing, and now think about today. Today, deep fakes. Anybody with a computer and open AI can create anything they want. You can have a picture of Biden doing whatever, Trump doing whatever, anything. And there's so much misinformation. You can't even trust your eyes anymore. A video, you could look at a video of something happening and 50% chance it's real. Who do you trust?
Yeah.
Who do you trust? What's real and what isn't?
It becomes truth without ever checking a single word. Exactly. That's my point. That's got to stop. Check your facts, people. We already live in a country where most people believe that it's honorable even to pay your taxes on your labor and your property. Give me a fucking break. Which means they really fucking own you. They own your house. They own your body. And it's honorable to be that way. I mean, come on.
I understand the need for a tax and to run the government, but why can't there just be one tax? Like, why did that tax my income, tax my sales tax my this, that? I mean, everything.
Your house.
I'm glad that there's
your labor.
I pay tax on toilet paper. To wipe my ass, I have to pay tax. Why isn't there just one tax, and that's it?
That's my question.
Right.
One flat sales tax. That's what I would go for. And you'd think that like a 10% sales tax would pay for the government. 10% of everything we all spend can't take care of the roads and the infrastructure. Fuck you. Okay. So, all right. Also, the bridge fell down. The Francis Scott Key Bridge. Splasharoonie. That sucked. I was actually up when it happened. And I was literally awake watching some stupid HBO show. Breaking news. I don't know. Maybe Val was watching something on CNN, but breaking news came through, and I watched that almost.
Oh,
live.
awake! You were awake. You said you were.
I was
up.
awake.
I had
up. Yeah, I was awake.
Wrong image in my head. Sorry.
Yeah, I didn't have a boner when the Francis Scott Key Bridge fell down. I was just awake. I haven't had a boner in like weeks. I'm 46. And I was a TV star. I used to do, what are those things called? Steroids and stuff to try to buff up for stuff. So my penis doesn't work anymore. I haven't been up forever. Only positive things Americans can get behind is signing a bill to repair. Oh, yeah, that's a positive thing. So maybe with this bridge falling down, maybe Americans can get behind this. Let's rebuild our infrastructure thing. Like, I would love it if our infrastructure was so badass. And we were like China instead of like, and when I say that, I don't mean like China, like a dictatorship, but we were like
the communist part,
not the communist part. Yeah. but China, like, we took care of ourselves. Like, we stopped sending multiple billions and trillions off to wars and in what was it? Vietnam and Korea and Iraq and Afghanistan and now the Ukraine. Let's just take care of ourselves, build our roads, take care of our people, educate our people, take care of our health, take care of America. I really like that idea. So maybe
why do we spend more on prisons than we do on schools? Why do we spend more on prisons and schools? And is that why we have more people in prison? And fewer educated,
Yeah.
Hello?
Yeah, they want us dumb. They really want us dumb. And believe me, I'm one of the fucking idiots. So, I'm an uneducated American. I'm in a lack of a khaki college graduate. What's it called? A college graduate? Khaki graduate? Yeah. I don't have a degree.
No, you explained it quite well the first time. That made sense to me.
Yeah, so let's, I'm hoping Americans get behind putting our infrastructure back up instead of sending money to war and destroying our dollar. It's I did all that time to be like China thing. Also, so my advice to the people out there is to vote for who you want to vote to be president. Quit and to be your congressman and to be your senator and to be your local district judge and DA and etc. If you vote, which you should, whether you're young, whether you're old, you should vote. There's not enough people in this country that vote. That's how dumb we are. We don't even care about who's representing us. We need to start voting. Everybody needs to start voting. And my advice is to go into the voting booth every year, open your ballot, and vote for all the independent women that you can vote for. If they're an independent and they're a woman, vote for them. I think that would fix everything. And that's just my opinion. All right. And then you could walk out of that voting booth knowing that you really are a fucking patriot instead of voting for Trump and thinking you're a patriot.
Or putting 20 flags in the back of your raised pickup with metal cow balls behind it, right?
Yeah.
That's not patriot.
That is not patriotism. Speaking of the other side of that, Bach appeared this week. Bach came back from the dead. Obama, Biden, and Clinton raised a bunch of money. I wasn't there. I didn't see the show. I'm sure
Stephen Colbert hosted.
Yeah, there were a bunch
You knew
of.
it had to be good.
Yeah, Stephen Colbert hosted it. I'm sure it was good. I'm sure it was fun. I would have liked to have my picture taken with those 3 mass murderers. Even though I, totally, I dig those guys a little bit, but they're all killers. All right, let's get through the monologue. I always waste too much time on that. Do you think a real billionaire Christian would be donating Bibles? He's not a real billionaire or a real Christian. He's selling them off. That was the Trump thing. Sorry. Read a note. But it's true. They're raising money, performing with a great comedian, and Trump is selling the Bible. And it'd be great. You would think that billionaires would give away Bibles, especially billionaire Christians. But Trump is not a real billionaire. He's also not a real Christian.
I mean, to be fair, he's also signing the autograph, like autograph Bibles.
Oh, he's autographing the Bible. That's what the 60 bucks is worth.
That's something. Right?
You couldn't pay me $60 to take a Bible he's signed. I wouldn't. Not for $60. You couldn't pay me. I don't. Whatever. I'm not going down that road.
All right. So we're gonna switch modes. Slow down a little bit. Bring on our guest host. I mean, our guest.
I'm excited about this. I love David
too.
Oman.
David Oman is the man. So David Oman I think he's actually released his movie. So I'm really excited about that. I don't
like 2 weeks ago online. Everybody can get it. I'm so excited.
Yeah.
Ooh,
let's bring on David Oman. David Oman lives. There's his movie, The House at the End of the Drive, available now on Amazon and everywhere else you like to stream music. Not music, movies. House at the End of the Drive. That's what I said, David. That's what I said. You got to unmute yourself, you fucking dumbass. Unmute yourself. Hit the unmute. I still can't hear David.
Better you didn't hear me, I guess. Huh?
Yeah.
Yes. This is it.
Yeah, there we go. Oh, he's got T-shirts available too.
No, I don't.
Buy that? No, it's just for you. You just got one for you. You can't.
Oh, this is an old T-shirt. As old
cool.
as my movie is.
That's where they died.
Yeah. So where is it? It's on Amazon. It's on. Do you have
it's on Vimeo.
Vimeo.
Okay, yes. Cool. It hasn't pardoned my voice. I lost it a few days ago. I'm still trying to get it back.
What were you doing? Yelling at ghosts?
No, I was yelling at the living. It's unfortunately the case. I had made a bargain with the devil, or as we like to call them, social media influencers. And
Happy Easter.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
Happy my ass.
Yeah. So
seriously, so they were here on Friday night, and I told my friend, I said, look, I'll throw down some ribs. You get some friends over, and he goes, oh yeah, okay. And he's with the rock star. The rock star house? His name is Zach Burns. And so Zach's sitting there. We're having dinner. I've got this 2 full racks of ribs. There's like 10 of us, and there's 21 drumsticks. And we're sitting there all eating and potato salad and coleslaw. And so he starts videoing himself saying, "Hi, this is Zach Burns with the Rockstar House, having a barbecue." I'm going, gee, there was something missing, like the Oman House, thanks David Oman for So, of course, I raised my voice.
David Oman also smokes pot. I
What?
just want to tell all you guys, David Oman also smokes pot. You can hear it in his voice.
No, that's literally this stream at the son of a bitch. I was like, "What are you doing, you son of a..." I said, "You just went live for 5 minutes in the house and you didn't mention me once. You didn't mention the house. You didn't mention the movie." I said, "What is this, your world and I'm passing through it?" I was livid.
Unfortunately, most people are like that, especially in Hollywood, man.
No. The youth, the social media influencers.
Oh, yeah, they're totally about them. Well, there's a few people that share, but it's definitely the minority. So can we? You want to show the trailer to the movie?
The trailer, please.
How do you see it on Vimeo? You just go to Vimeo and then what do
you
do?
Then you can go to houseattheendofthedrive.com. There's a link right on the first page. It's also at Ghost of Cielo Drive has got it linked up, and and also the omanhouse.com has got a link to it.
Okay, and I
think it's like $3.99 for 3-day rental.
Cassie, you also have all that information in the
right.
What's the word? Below. The description below. There we go. Sorry, description. I couldn't come up with that word. I'm getting old. So,
shut up.
Because your college education. That's why. Yeah.
The brain slows down. The legs, the body, it all goes to shit. Anyway, David Oman made a killer movie. I actually watched it on his big screen in the house, and it is a killer movie.
Movie. I'm going, pun.
No pun intended. But it is a good movie. I watched it actually in his house, in his screening room, right, a couple blocks down from the murder house.
A couple houses down.
Houses down. You're right. It is 2 houses away. So let's watch.
Look who's talking. Who's
we all smoke it. I was just calling you out.
I do not.
I'm not in a club. I'm not in anywhere.
Yeah.
The producer is actively smoking and rolling the trailer.
I want a house. A big house. This is it. 4,200 square feet. Very modern.
I thought you said nobody came up here. Some tourists at the gate at the end of the drive taking pictures. You say you worked on this place? What can you tell me about it?
The place is too new to have any kind of history.
You know what I'm talking about.
There was something.
Give me a break. Listen, I don't know what's going on with the wiring. I need someone to come check it out. I'll show you the breakers are down in the basement. The wiring in this house is really screwed up.
Hey, your luck just changed, old buddy.
It is so peaceful and quiet here.
That's one of the reasons I decided to buy an Oxford Canyon.
This is where the DeWitt murders took place.
Did the murders take place on this property, Robert?
No, not this property, not here. The property at the end of the drive.
36 years ago, in a house somewhere in this canyon, 4 people were brutally murdered. Mutilated.
Did anyone happen to notice the date these murders took place?
July 29th, 1969.
36 years ago. Tonight.
Let's get this party started.
Someone's gonna die tonight. Someone's gonna die tonight.
He's got a real knife on him. What? No, come on.
This is the prop. This is the prop in the movie.
Oh, it's from
That's not a knife. Then this is a knife.
It's not a knife.
That's not a knife at all.
This is a knife.
Crack it. That's a knife. Yeah.
Yeah. So your movie's out. I'm excited. I'm gonna go see it when I go home.
I'm David.
I think yeah, you are David. David Oman, who
Nice
lives
to
in
meet
the
you.
Oman
Excited.
house.
Taking-
I
it's nice to meet
recognize
you
one of
too.
those actors. One of
Yeah.
those actors is on Whose Line Is It Anyway?
Oh yeah, Jonathan Mangum. He's also on every day.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah,
with,
he's funny as hell too.
he's great. He's a complete skeptic
Oh.
too. When he was
Really?
shooting, he goes, I don't believe in ghosts. I don't believe in ghosts at all. I'm like,
Well, you-
Jonathan,
Hang out
Really?
here for a few days and you'll
Love
see.
him.
he's on what is it? Let's Make a Deal with Wayne Brady every day as well.
Yeah,
So-
well, Wayne Brady was also on Whose Line.
Of course, that's how they work
Yeah.
together on the other
So,
one.
honest, let's talk about it. Your house has been on 9 paranormal reality shows: Ghost Hunters, Dead Famous Alive, Searching for Satan, My Ghost Story, Haunted History, Paranormal Witness, Ghost Adventures. Zach and his team has come by, and Aftershocks, Extreme Paranormal Witness, and Fright Club. So this house has been very documented by a bunch of different paranormal experts. And tell me a little bit about what you experience in your house on a daily basis or a weekly basis. How often do you see, hear, feel something?
Stuff happens basically all the time. I mean, I've gone so far as to install 30 cameras in the house to record the activity, and I'm never at a loss because most of the time when you're looking for ghosts, they really don't, a lot of the times they don't manifest. But for example, 3 weeks ago, I had these 6 social media influencers that came to the house. As I recall, I was in the kitchen. The 6 of them were in the dining room right in front of me at the pass-through. And I was talking about, reminiscing about the story of Lindsay Lohan's visit here 13 years ago. And coincidentally, the night she was here was the night she was accused of stealing the necklace at the Venice boutique.
I remember.
So I'm sitting there telling them, and I said, right when I opened the door, I felt like all the air in the tires went out of me. And right at that moment, the front door unlocked during a rainstorm and opened on its own.
Unlocked? You heard the
laughed about it.
locks click, click, and nobody's out there.
No one's, and then of course the dog is sitting. The dog turns and looks at the door. It's like, what the hell is this? And it's funny because I've got a front door camera and 2 side door cameras, front of the house side cameras. So they all have audio. So when you watch the video, you can actually hear when the door opens and the acoustic signature of us talking inside and going, oh my God, you can hear it right outside the door, right as the door opens. And you can look on the bushes, the rose bushes there, and there's not a leaf moving. They're still and quiet, so there's no breeze. And they had all said, he goes, you just shut the door, didn't you? It's like, yeah, because you little bastards keep on coming into the house. And on this street, where 55 years ago, 5 people and 1 pregnant woman were killed. Do you think I'm really interested in somebody taking their shot at, hey, let's have another shot at history on the same drive?
No,
you didn't give Sharon Tate a key, did you?
No.
Pardon?
Sharon has.
I said you didn't give Sharon Tate. Yeah, Sharon Tate has a key, right?
Yeah, she can just come through the wall.
I don't think a ghost needs a key. Unlike what you see on TV and movies, spirits go through things. They don't bother to say, somebody unlocked it through this piece of paper. The hell you can't? You're a fucking ghost. Boom. Oh, I'm sorry. Excuse me. Can I get through this glass? Can I get through this glass? Oh, I'm a ghost. From.
To be fair, though, I have the same issues, and I'm wondering if you do. Every time you invite me to a barbecue, or you're like, "Hey, come on up to the place,"
huh?
I get a little constipated. But the truth is,
a little more fiber in your diet.
But no, when you ask me to come up there, I always question: should I do this? Is this the night where the repeat is going to happen? Are the kids gonna,
should I do this?
Yeah,
ask myself the same question.
That's what I'm wondering. That's the question.
Should
Does that
I do
scare
this?
you? You're creeping me out. Does that scare you?
I'll remind you this next time you visit. God forbid. That should be. Now I know the bullshit behind the reason why it's like, I can't make it, David. I make plans some other time.
Well, every time David says, come on up to the house, I'm like, I'm wondering if, maybe some weird, the world's getting crazy. America's getting crazy. Kids are
yes, we are, aren't we?
And is
we
somebody
want you, Manu, on our list.
Helter Skelter and just gets the wrong house? Do you ever worry about that? Because I do.
I never thought you were really paranoid. Now I'm certain of it.
I'm excited for the opportunity, Mona. You should go visit him, and the week after,
and do
I'll
a
be
show
the new
here
host of Dangerous Thoughts.
No, we do a show here. I mean, I've done Bridget Marquardt's show. We've done the Jimmy Church show. He's done it here. Fade to Black.
Yeah. I love
Why the hell can't you do it? We've had other podcasters come out here.
Well,
Why
I'll
not
actually
you?
be there in late April for a week.
Well, you'll have to come here in late April and do a live show.
All right, we'll do a live show from David's house. Maybe we'll
see how live it is.
Can you put that knife down, man?
This is the prop in the movie that he finds. This is the actual prop.
That's why you're not.
Is it a real knife?
No.
Yeah, it's a U.S. 1968 U.S. Marines K-bar. I found it when I was a kid.
Oh, wow. It is a real knife. I thought it was
a knife. Really, you want to see. Sharp and very, very sharp.
Wow.
Yeah, I'll put it down, though.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I said, it's a prop from the movie. That's why I had it handy for another show. It's like, oh, look at this. That's the knife. I said, that's the knife in the movie. It's like, oh, my God, it's real. It's like, it the hell better be. It's the real deal.
If I get to bring this.
Oh!
All right.
Here.
All right.
Here.
With your movie. I have a real question for you, David. This is super important.
I got a funny story to talk to Dickin about that because my parents' friend, Freddie Freiberger, produced Star Trek, the original, back in the 60s for one season, I think. Freddie was a producer for one season. Go on.
No, that's cool. Yeah, is he still rocking? Is he still around? No? Yeah. Roddenberry died too. So did Star Trek with the death of Roddenberry. There's been many Star Trek since, but Roddenberry's was the best. So why did you block my producer on Twitter? Was it because he compared Obama to Putin or Palestine to the Ukraine?
First of all, there are two things my mother told me when I was a kid. You don't discuss politics or religion. And because I respect my mother, God rest her soul, 19 years now, I'm going to stand by that and we'll discuss after we talk. Because secondly, you said, honestly, somebody's gotten into my accounts. I kid you not. My Facebook account.
Oh, man.
And then my Twitter account got being played with. Then today I got an Instagram notice saying, you can't post this on their account. It's like going, what did I post? I'm being targeted. I don't know who's. We'll talk about that after, but I think, like I said, somebody's after me because the movie came out 2.5 weeks ago now, and ever since that happened, it's been boom, 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 like somebody's just like shooting ducks out of the freaking sky.
Well, it wasn't my anarchist post, okay?
I'm telling you, somebody's messing with my accounts. I don't know who. If I had a TikTok account, it could be worse, but I don't.
Yeah, I don't do TikTok either. I mean,
But I'm just telling you, I don't know about the answer to that because like I said, I don't.
Oh, did that come out of your ass? Because that sounded like it hurt. Oh, that was the knife.
Yeah, you need to put down that knife before you do yourself mischief.
Oh, messy, bloody messy. God, that hurts.
Yeah.
Never put a big knife in your lap.
No, it's a bad idea. I'm glad that didn't go right through your foot. Actually, I wish
don't know. It might have.
Would have made good TV.
All right, so let's talk some more about things besides that question.
Yes. Okay. That's a good little right over my head. I'm not going to respond. That's all right. No. So, what do you think though? Because I was going to bring that up. Fuck it. That's stupid stuff. I don't want to talk about Palestine and the Ukraine.
We're not here to talk about politics or
Palestine
goddamn religion.
No, but
even though it's Easter.
Even though it's Easter.
Happy
We're
Easter!
not here to talk about
Happy
Jesus.
Easter! Go have a
Happy
bunny
Easter,
hop.
everybody. Look, hey, I got nothing against Christians except for the Crusades and war and all the other shit that you do. But otherwise, if you're just like a regular old Christian that believes in the bullshit, you're friends with me. We can be friends. The things that I don't like about America in general is if you're a Christian or this and about social media, all this polarization. What the fuck is going on? Why
It
can't
sells.
polarization sells? I mean,
Don't you think about it? Why don't you start thinking in terms of where does the money go to? How does it make sense financially? You sell T-shirts for one side. It's just like a college football game. I just thought about it. You have a rivalry. It's a built-in. So you sell T-shirts, you sell programs, you sell this, you sell that. It's all about marketing at the end of the day, baby. It's all about
you
the
sell
money.
Bibles with your signature in it.
Well,
Bibles
that's,
with your
that's the obvious thrift. But the point is division, just like drama. Why do you think television, when they see me, goes, there's no drama in your experience in your house? It's like, no, it's not that drama filled. I said, I'm accustomed to it. Well, we can't do it because it's not, drama filled.
How is
people want drama? They
how
don't
is
want
the
entertainment.
ghosts of Manson's murders not filled enough with drama for these producers? I mean,
You tell me. You're in the industry more than I am. You work more than me.
I think they should do a show on your house at least for a year. Like do a whole year for like exactly
4-part
a limited
docu-series.
series,
That's
a
it.
nice
A limited
series
series about the house.
and get the best of the best in there to catch what they can and do a limited series. So you've pitched this already.
I've got tons of evidence. I don't need
You've
to
got
go
30 cameras in your house. You've already got it. Yeah.
So that's the whole point.
So you're just not getting your show on the air because people just don't like your haircut? What's the deal?
I need a haircut. I haven't had one in a year. It sucks. I had a week ago, we had like 100 social media influencers here. They looked at me and they said, is that your father? I wouldn't have a kid as ugly as them.
I was up at David's house once and I had my gray hair on and I had my full COVID beard going. And he was like, you can't walk around like that. This is Hollywood.
I didn't mean that way. This is freaking planet Earth, 2022. Come on. Wake up. Get a fucking trim. Jack Black, I can't shave.
It's true.
He rents out his hair to do stunt hair for Donald Trump. I love it. That's like the stunt hair.
I don't get it. I see all these Hollywood A-list guys, Jack Black. I got this big beard. So what the hell, you Grizzly freaking Adams? Shave the fucking thing off and do yourself a favor. You got a face under that mound of hair. I'm hiding. Jim Carrey's like, what are you?
I like the
COVID. Give an image. It's like, I can afford not to goddamn shave my beard. Okay, but it looks like shit.
I think it would be great if we all did it, if we all rocked the COVID. I think it would be something great for humanity if we all let it go and we let the hair go and we all looked like that. Could you imagine getting on an airplane when everybody looks like the guy from the Geico commercials, the caveman? And that would be why, because we would admit that we were human and we would look at each other and go, yeah, you're me and I'm you.
What does having a fucking beard have to do with looking human? Come on, man.
Manu, why don't you tell him about the time you made me shave my whole ass bald?
Oh yeah, I didn't ever make you shave your ass bald, but I did ask him to shave his head and his face for Star Crew. By the way, people that are interested in Star Crew, we just moved into sound design. It's really exciting. We got a composer. We've got a sound designer. ADR is happening. So the pilot will be ready soon, and I'll be in the same shit show shape as David Oman, trying to sell my show and get it on the air.
Why the shave the head, though? Don't you believe in
all the extras? No. Well, here's the thing. I didn't have a ton of money. And putting on
a ton of money for a bald cap.
No, bald caps are expensive.
I'll donate the money to give them one, for God's sake.
They take well, why didn't you shit? The bald caps take a lot of time and effort. Come on. they take a lot of time and effort to put on people. It takes like an hour
Oh
and a
my
half.
God! I walked around 2 weeks like a Nazi.
It's a real expense. So I had all my extras that wanted to show up and play Zombots actually shave their head.
You are merciless, mother of God. You are the most merciless.
Well, it was awesome, actually.
Yeah,
Everybody,
want to be in a movie?
there's a picture
Shake your
right
head.
there.
You're in this movie. You got it.
And actually, these people were wonderful. And some of the people that showed up, including Tyson, my co-host here, I became some of the greatest friends with because I was hard with them. I said, shave your head or you're not in the movie. And they showed up anyway, and they look wonderful. Look at that picture. It's fantastic.
Oh God, I'm scared.
Do you ever get
tell
scared?
me you couldn't have gone with a latex prosthetic?
I could have, but it would have cost me another 16 hours of work and 2 makeup artists. And I didn't have a big budget.
You're terrible. You're merciless. Mother of God, you are merciless, man.
Yeah.
You are merciless. Merciless Ming. Manu.
I'm trying to convince the people on social media that I have a big heart and that I'm misunderstood. So
I'm
when
a fucking
you
producer.
stop
I
it,
wouldn't make. Look, I took one for the team when I did this scene in my movie where they dripped hot candle wax in my stomach because my lead wouldn't do it. And I saw what the reason why is instead of using long taper candles, they used the column candles. So inside the middle of the goddamn candle was about 4 ounces
There we
of
go.
molten freaking
Found it.
wax. So when they
I
my
think you
bald
look
ass right
good.
there.
I think you look great. You
Oh,
look
shut
like
up. God
you look
forbid.
like
It's not your head being scrubbed clean, you know, Manu. You're one to talk.
Well, I have a huge head. I have a huge noggin. People
I
don't
loved
know.
it though.
My
We
head
know
is
you
actually-
finally admitted it. You have a huge head. No wonder you
Yeah.
don't come to the house. It can't fit through the door.
Yeah, it's true. So,
You're killing me.
Do you ever get scared? Do you ever get scared in that house?
No, I get scared of the idea of shaking my head. Yeah, that scares me more than
Do the ghosts ever scare you?
Well, of course, it's when you get scared, it's just a normal reflex to something that happens. Like, and it's like, okay, I got it. It's the spirits. All right, thanks. But yeah, it's momentary though. But like I said, shaving my whatever I got on my hair of my head, yes, I would be terrified more than a ghost. And that would last a lot longer than seeing an apparition going, hi. Like, okay, that's cool.
Have you ever seen a full-bodied? Have you ever seen a full-bodied apparition?
Yes, I have. I've never seen my head bald since I was
in your
born,
house.
though. I can let this go.
Dog with a bone here.
In your house?
I feel bad for you, Tinkin. I really do. I'm going, oh my God, shave my.
Look, everybody knows you're rocking the Trump. It's like it's
Let's
not
just
you're
rock in
not
the Trump.
hiding
This is my hair that I've been wearing for the past. Let's not get there, you son of a bitch.
it. You haven't been wearing.
I got
it for
years on
25
your
years,
ass. So
like,
shut up.
You
I
don't
got
have
the
25
miles to
years
prove it.
like Trump has. So you're rocking the Trump. That's okay. I see the comb.
Rocking the cunt. Shut it. Don't even start that. How dare you say that? You're rocking the Trump. You want to rock my butt? Kiss my left cheek, sweetheart. Cut it. Rocking the Trump. Oh my God.
I can't cut it. We're live.
Well, do me a favor. No more of this political BS about rocking the Trump.
I'm not.
All
I'm
right,
asking you.
I'll
Are you
bring-
scared to be in your house? And have you
No, I'm
seen a
not scared. I'm
full-bodied
just scared of
apparition?
other things. Again, no politics, please.
Tell me about the full-bodied apparition experience.
That was 20 years ago now. I saw a ghost in the middle of the night.
There?
Standing there, full body apparition.
In your bedroom?
Pardon?
In your bedroom?
Yes, in my bedroom. He was dressed in a suit, 60s style suit, short lapels, narrow tie. Hair was kind of like mine, except it didn't look like Trump. I know it's just mine, he said. He goes, that's an insult, man. He's calling you Donald Trump. God help.
Now, do
You're
apparitions
pissing
have
the
a
spirits off, Manu. That's not an easy thing to do, you know.
No. What year did
do
you move in
apparitions
there?
have a? Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah. What year did you
I'm on
move
a
in?
delay.
What year did I see him, or what year did I move in?
What year did you move into this house?
2002.
The Oman house. Okay, so when did you see the apparition? Right around.
2 years later, in 2004. Summer.
Did it just stand there and look at you, or did you get any?
He was looking. He was looking ahead. He had his arms straight out, and he was turning his torso towards the driveway, as what I thought was the driveway. However, about 10 years later, after that, the property next door was sold, and they eviscerated the mountain to where they did something like this. They cut the hillside straight down. And what I'm showing you is this is the street up here, and then the hillside went down. They went down, they went down 60 feet and cut out this entire wedge of mountain.
To
and
give
built
you
the
a
house
base
that's there.
for the house.
The house is there now. Enormous concrete.
With the apparitions, do apparitions look humanoid, or do they look like monsters like in Ghostbusters?
They look like regular old people. Secondly, I didn't recognize it as being one of the victims because I expected his, well, excuse me, when have seen photographs of the victims, Jay Sebring had straight hair like mine.
Yeah.
He had kinky hair as the apparition had, and he was all in shades of gray, but he wasn't wearing the clothes he was wearing when he was killed, because the myth is be careful what you wear for when you leave the house, because you'll be destined to wear that for eternity. Wrong answer. That is not the truth. Yeah, it doesn't happen to be like that. Secondly, he didn't have any of the disfigurements as he did when he was killed. Like I didn't see like a gunshot wound, like, anything like anything like that to make me feel like, oh my God, you're a murder victim. Who are you? It was completely null and void of any disfigurements from his life.
How long until you realized that you're pretty sure that it was Jay Sebring?
It was like about 3 months later. I was doing some research on what was going to be my book.
Oh, by the way, guys, David also wrote a book called Ghost of Cielo Drive.
I'm out of copies right now, but that's something to think about. But when I was doing the research at the LAPD, I was looking through all these photographs of the Tate murders, and I came across one. I was like, holy crap. I said, that's him. And meaning at the time, I was in a 6 foot by 6 foot room with one police officer watching me go through the photographs so that I wouldn't take photographs of the photographs or try to steal any of the photographs because they were under lock and key, literally in the vault in the center. I had to go through a whole process of applying for an application to get to see the photographs and to have them pull them out of the vault.
And it just hit you like, bam.
Oh, he was with me. I said, that's him. And I flipped the photo and it says Jay Sebring with his natural hairstyle. And I was like, holy crap.
That was the guy standing in my bedroom.
Yeah.
So, and you weren't like a ghost guy until you moved into this place.
No,
right?
I was always interested in ghosts. I was always curious about them. However, I was always skeptical because I knew the market that it's just, again, follow the money. Where you can see an opportunity to exploit somebody for money, it's a right area to go into making fraudulent claims. And if you know anything about, the history.
There's a lot of fake hotels, haunted motels, haunted blah, blah, blah. I've been to New Orleans.
Well, 100 years ago, there was a guy named Eric Weiss, also known as Harry Houdini, who spent the latter half of his life debunking the spiritualists that were fraudulent, making money on the unhappiness, the loneliness, the sorrow of those people who lost their sons during World War I, and also during the previous war in 1899, the Spanish-American War, when it all started. The spiritualist movement started right about the time that Abraham Lincoln was in office, because Lincoln's wife, Mary Todd Lincoln. Mary Todd Lincoln was very much into the spiritualist movement. And then, of course, after Lincoln died, after old Abe died, she was like trying to get in touch with him. And Harry Houdini was basically looking to debunk those fraudulent pieces of you-know-what, including a friend of his, Arthur Conan Doyle, famous author of Sherlock Holmes.
Yeah.
He was big into it, and that caused a rift between him and Mr. Houdini because Mr. Doyle's wife was big into the spiritualist movement, and Houdini had said there's no such thing as a real ghost. As we say, there weren't very many people that he found credible because he didn't believe in his own trials and tribulations to reach his dead mother. which is how he found out about the spiritualists being fraudulent in their activities and making money off of the sorrows of
Yeah, but
people.
now we have all this tech, these SLS cameras, and come on, some of that tech is pretty amazing. I mean, I took an look the first time.
Let me just tell you this.
And the only time.
Stop.
No, you stop. You stop.
You stop. I tell you, you stop, and you're going to beat the thread out. I swear to God. Listen to you. You sound like such a sissy ninny. Here's what I'm just going to, you just mentioned something. The SLS camera, right? Which is basically the heart and soul of the
an Xbox
game port and now the Xbox, etc. If you don't use the technology according to the standard by which it was created, you're going to get false positives every step of the way. Meaning, and I saw a video about this and I said, son of a bitch, they're right. The Xbox has to be stationary because if it is in the memory of the deck, it is reading movement. It doesn't know if it's not moving. It thinks it's stationary. So if you're moving and the object is stationary, it will track that object and ascribe it movement.
All right. Well, listen to this. I've only been on one actual ghost hunt in my life. And
when the hell was this?
This was in Florida like 5 years ago.
And I've known you longer than that, huh?
Yeah. But I actually went out with these guys called the whatever the Ghost Society of that particular man. I even have a T-shirt.
Why is it St. Augustine that's coming up? You went to St. Augustine, I'm being told. Is that it?
What was really cool is we went to a graveyard first, and really nothing happened there. And
no, because ghosts don't hang out at a graveyard. That's the rotting corpses.
Yeah, nothing happened. But then I went over to this bar that was supposedly haunted.
Oh, the spirits are flowing there, I'm sure.
A guy had died 3 months before, and I asked the bartender.
Yeah, he did. He died.
I said, "Hey, if anybody was going to show up now, who would they be?" And he explained that this guy used to pull his boat into the dock at this park. He was there like every day. He was a regular for 40 years. And he's like, if anybody would be here now, it would be Bob, or I think his name was Bob. This is 5 years ago, so excuse my memory. But we did have the camera locked off stationary. And on one of the bar stools where Bob used to sit, a SLS figure showed up just sitting on that chair. Its legs hanging over the chair with its arms sitting over the bar. And I said, oh my God, there's a reading here. I'm like, I can see it. I go, Bob, is that you? And the SLS thing went like this, one hand raised in the air like this. And I was like, wow, that's amazing. Can I come around the bar and talk to you? And it did it again. It went like this. So I ran around the bar and I stood right in front of it while the SLS was locked off. And I said, Bob, a lot of people aren't going to believe this type of footage. I don't mean to ask you to do things. I don't mean to offend you, but do you want to toast? Do you want to buy everybody in the bar a drink? And it did that again. And then I said, will you toast me? And it actually put up a hand and toasted my beer. So we poured this ghost a Bloody Mary and we set it in front of him. And it literally would drink the Bloody Mary and it would start going like this every time we asked it a question. And then it would jump up into the ceiling fan. And so I ran back around the camera and I was sitting behind the camera. And I asked another actor that was there because it was a convention, a comic book convention. So there was a guy from that show on the CW about, can't think of the name of it, but about ghosts, Supernatural. So he went in, and as soon as he went in to try to talk to Bob would jump up into the rafters in the fan, and his legs would dangle off the rafters, and he would do this kind of thing. Like, hey, you want to fight? You sort of Irish thing. And Bob was an Irishman. So all of this shit was making sense. And he actually showed up on camera for a good 15, 20 minutes. This figure didn't go away. And when my buddy from Supernatural, I forget his name, but he was my buddy for the weekend, would go in there and try to mess with Bob on the fan, Bob would jump right back to the stool and he'd be sitting at the stool drinking his drink. And then he'd go back to the stool and he'd bounce up to the fan and do his little punchy thing. And It was very interactive. It was like, this thing is definitely interacting with us.
Ghosts are absolutely attracted to merry-go-rounds. Anything like a fan. So
That's not quite what I'm hearing. They go, this guy's on a ride, but I don't know where to.
They love it. Now, question: outside of the equipment,
the fan wasn't moving. It was just a stationary fan.
Outside of the equipment, was there any sense that you had that you could see, touch, taste, smell, anything that you felt like he was here, or was it strictly equipment?
It was strictly equipment, but when I asked him to cheers, that thing would cheers me. It would put its hand up and cheers my glass. I asked it to high five me. It high fived me. When I asked it questions like, do you want to buy everybody in the bar a drink? It pumped its hand like, yeah.
Did you reach out and tell it to touch you?
Yeah, I said
it would be an easy
I don't think I did that. But I did ask it to cheers me, but I didn't ever feel like a cold sensation or if you watch Zach's show, he's always going, oh, it's cold, we must have a ghost here. I didn't feel the change in temperature, or I didn't notice it.
Can we not reference him as well as not politics, but his name is pretty discredited as far as I'm concerned.
Really?
Man
Why?
stayed here 3 hours of a 6-hour lockdown and ran the fuck out and said that I was possessed.
He said you were possessed when he was
in
at
his
your
book,
house?
I Am Haunted. 3.5 pages, half a chapter.
Oh, you are? I know you're possessed.
That guy doesn't know Haunted from High. Give me a break.
Every time I talk to you, every 30 seconds, you do one of those. I know you got a demon in you somewhere.
Have that hot enema on me, sweetheart. We'll get the demon out of you next.
All right.
I am not even remotely possessed. Furthermore, the idea that people claim to be possessed and you're buying into that is making me feel like I need to go.
What, shave your head?
Jump off a bridge. I mean, you're hysterical.
Cut your hair.
You know, the odds, the actual truthful odds of actual possession is about 1/10 of 1/100th of 1/1000th of 1/1,000,000th of a percent of actually occurring.
Well,
Thanks,
they do
Katie.
say that
Thanks, Katie.
9/10 of the law, says Katie.
Zach Baggins, he's been possessed so many times. It's time he was repossessed. Okay.
You know what's weird about Zach? I don't, he buys all that shit from the psycho killers and that ghost house that he has in LA. Yeah, money. Yeah, you're right.
What do you think? He's running a freaking gosh darn museum. It's all about show and tell. I've got the post-it that was in the gosh darn house that was in the house where the Tate murders took place.
Yeah, I've got a drawing that what's his name made in prison, the strangler in LA, the hillside strangler.
Yes,
really quick, David.
All that stuff creeps me out. Yeah, we got a line of people to ask.
We got a line of people to
we're
talk
you.
overtime. So
I got here a knife used.
All right, first guest.
Murders.
Who's up to ask David Oman from the Oman House?
Ask away, kids, please. I'm here. Voice, not so much.
All right, Dave Prime, I think it looks like. Yeah.
Hello. So you kind of hit the nail on the head about him. It's like, I'm a paranormal investigator, and the group I've been with, not a fan of Ghost Adventures either. But saying, out of all the groups that you've had visit the house, which one has been your favorite and why?
When you say groups, are you referring to TV shows? Because in actuality,
the TV show groups.
Well, you remember the shows that we've been on. When I say we, I mean the house and myself. There's only been Ghost Hunters and Ghost Adventures. Every other show has been a story-based show. Think about My Ghost Story, Paranormal Witness, Haunted History. Aftershocks was me and Barry, who just called me yesterday. We were talking about some stuff that was going on here because during Friday night's little barbecue, I had two people go down to the laundry room and then go down to the hallway that runs left side of the house to the right side of the house. And they came running upstairs saying, your place is haunted. Your place is haunted. I said, okay, what happened? He goes, we went down to that laundry room to the end and we looked down the hallway and we saw these two red eyes that just blinked and were then and gone. And I'm like, No idea who the hell that was. However, I said we have it on camera, but I forgot to write down. I told him to write down what time it took place at. I have to look at the video footage now. Think of it. Come to think
If
of
you
it.
have it, share it with us.
Well, no,
Yeah.
I want to
you
see red
know,
eyes. That would be pretty wild.
well, but honestly, I mean, I've had a lot of podcasts like, oh my gosh, has been here, Grim Life Collective. And here's the thing. When we're not looking for ghosts actively, that's when the spirits just say, pop in. And like, for instance, my friend John Doherty, who was moving from San Luis Obispo to Georgia, came to visit, just, to visit before he's moving. And he came down, he was unpacking his bags. And I said, I'm in the kitchen talking, and said, hey, John, I just heard the spirits. And they said, we're going to miss him. Because he had been here several times hanging out and stuff. So I go downstairs. I said, I got to do something. 5 minutes later, you hear, he goes, David, is there a girl in the house? And I'm in my office like here. And I said, no, what are you talking about? And so he goes, I just heard a girl say, hi, John.
Wow. And
again, look at my YouTube channel. It's one of the videos probably from 4 years ago. And it says John and John and the spirit. It's amazing. I think it was July of 2020. But it's like I said, the idea of having a spirit box so that the spirit can communicate through this to you never thrilled me, never enticed me, because it's a shortcut. And fishing and ghost hunting is here's a comparison. Fishing and ghost hunting. They take a long time to get the thing that you want. If it's the big fish or the big catch evidence wise, there's no freaking shortcut. And everybody tries to shortcut it, in my mind, does themselves a disservice. Because at the end of the day, you're listening to the Echo Vox and it's scanning back and forth. It's getting a radio frequency picked up. So it's not even the gosh darn spirit's actual vocalization.
But what about the there's the other one that pulls up the words out of nowhere? What's that
Same
called?
deal. These spirits are more than cognitive and capable of speaking to us. And God knows the reason why I've got these cameras, like that one right there. And then there's another one in the other part of the room, is that when I'm not actively looking, they're there. They're making themselves doing their thing. And it's like, whoa, they're talking. Their presence is around. That's what I said.
Do you think about these light orbs idea? Do you have a lot of light orbs on those cameras?
Yes and no. Sometimes it's the only time I like an orb is when it's in full color, meaning the image is shot with full color so that you're immediately dismissing the evaluation of infrared light reflecting with, no, not the bugs, specks of dust reflecting against infrared light in an infrared mode. Because if you got it in full color, there ain't no gosh darn infrared light making itself apparent. So if you've got something, and I've got video footage from 10 years ago where this woman's using her freaking cell phone, and it's in full color in the earthen wall room, and there's this thing that literally, it's not an orb, it's like a manifestation. It just, out of thin air, it manifests and it moves around, and it's just whirling around, and then it comes down to the ground, and it's in full color, and then it disappears into the floor, into the wood, just like vaporizes. And I said, there ain't no way in hell that's a speck of dust. And she's communicating with it. And then she shows you in slow motion and in still frames the object movement. And I'm going, that's beating that out of me.
How many times are you gonna say that?
Oh.
That's all, folks. I had a better voice.
Dave, do you have any other questions for Mr. Oman?
Questions? No.
Well, thanks, Dave. I appreciate your questions. And take a look at the YouTube channel, because if I
that's what I was looking up. We have it in the description below, but what's your YouTube channel?
youtube.com/David Oman. And there's like 120 videos, but if you go look at the older ones, you go, no, that's nuts.
Wow.
Yeah, I did look at a few of them last time you were on the show, so
YouTube/David Oman, that's it, and they can see a lot of the captures that you've gotten at the house.
Yeah,
Okay.
Like I said, including the one from 3 weeks ago where the front door opens on its own. And then later on in the evening, they're down in the theater room. They go into the guest bedroom. And 18 feet away is one of those cat toys. The kid takes one step into the room and the cat toy starts flashing. He goes, holy shit, look at the cat toys going off. And I'm going, and people say, oh, he made the vibration by stepping on the floor. Well, here's the follow-up to that. After the cat toy turns off, 2 other guys come in the room after he says this, and the cat toy doesn't turn on again.
Yeah, I've seen people jump up and down next to those balls that light up and nothing happens. So I know this is dangerous thoughts in the ball joke. It went right, yeah, whatever. Okay, who's next?
Jesus Christ.
Mala.
Mala, how are you?
Hello, Mala.
Hi. We're good.
We're good.
Good. I had a couple questions for David. I know you said you moved or you bought the house in 2002.
Built.
Oh, you built. Okay. So now are the ghosts that are there, they've drifted from the other property to yours?
Well, let's put it this way. I've had Lisa Williams, the famous English psychic, Marian Winkowski, Chris Fleming, James von Prague. The consensus has been from Marian Winkowski and Lisa Williams, the first 2 that commented, was you got a revolving door at your front door of your house. You got spirits coming in and coming out. So it's like, and beyond just them that are coming in and coming out, we get visitations from the Tate murders, Rudolph Valentino, she said, other spirits that are around the area, Native Americans that were in the area, and as well as the people that walk into the house, my friends, the spirits, as I believe, that are around each and every one of us. Hit the environment, they have a field day. And then, of course, when the people leave, they go back with whom they came with. I don't believe in this hitchhiking spirits and, oh, somebody's, if there's a spirit attached to you, as people like to say, it's supposed to be attached to you. It's somebody that's around you as a guardian angel, somebody you knew, a friend, a relative that has passed on that's just there for an intermittent amount of time. However long that is.
Indeterminate. Yeah, sorry.
Not permanent. Some of them go off onto other things.
Indeterminate. Yeah. So some of the, you don't believe that the spirits that are in the house are necessarily local just to the area. They could be spirits from anywhere.
Like untethered.
Untethered. But spirits, for the most part, from what I've been told and what I've gathered after living here 22 years, we have a lot of false misconceptions and understandings based on human ego about the paranormal. It's completely fraught with myth and legend, which is totally human egocentrically based, is what I'm figuring out. The more I start to hear them saying, what the hell do you think we are? You think we're sitting there watching our rotting corpses in the goddamn grave? What are you, stoned or stupid? That would be a hellish eternity. I go, God, you're right. He goes, what are you, we're watching our eyes sink in further into our head and then turn into, oh God. He goes,
hanging out in the graveyard? Yeah, what a dumb
thing. They don't hang out in graveyards. It's like what Barry Taft said to me 19 years ago. You have a motor vehicle. Inside the motor vehicle is the person. So that's like, just like the person is the soul, the motor vehicle is the human body. When the body and the soul depart, the motor vehicle goes most likely to a junkyard, which is kind of the same as you're going to the grave. When the body and the soul separate, they separate at that moment. You're not like, oh, let's watch our body go. They're going to drain me. Oh, wow, look at this. They're going to do this to me. Oh, my God, they're cutting my brain, my skull open to look at my brain. Oh, yes, I enjoy it. It don't work like that. You are so removed from the physical form and the physical realm. It's as clean and as pure as it gets. So that, as the old saying goes, why don't ghosts give a rat's ass about anything going on? Because they have no skin in the game. They're out of it. They're removed from the pain. And you think that a spirit wants to get back into the flesh to endure pain? I don't think so.
I think they do it over and over again, but that's just me.
Well, you want to. I'm not going there. We'll talk later about that.
All right. So wait a second.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah. Who did you just talk to?
Somebody. I didn't ask names. Somebody said, he goes, tell him that, David, don't be that way. So I said, all right, you're right. I'm not going to go there and be rude.
All right. So one of the most amazing things that happened to me in the last few years was at David Oman's house. He had a party.
Oman's house.
Sorry, Damien. David Oman's house.
Right. You better be on your best behavior, kid.
Oh, that's right up there with.
I'm going to throw the
right up there with chicken.
All right. So seriously, though, I went over to his house.
Mollis does a question.
And he had. I know. We'll Mollis still in the mix.
Okay.
You had a night there where you had a bunch of different
shining armor, wasn't he?
You fucking prick. And you had an evening there where you had a bunch of different people that were paranormal experts and also psychics, enthusiasts, etc.
Yes.
And there was a lady there that did a seance, and I participated in that seance. And in that seance, she had one of those, I forget what the piece of technology is that beeps and lights up when a spirit's in the room. It can say yes or no. I forget what the box is called. But it was lighting up for nobody. And a couple people had a couple of relatively interesting conversations with the box. But when it got to me, I started I started asking if my grandmother was around.
Dave said the REM pod.
Yeah, the REM pod. That's exactly what it was called.
The proximity beacon, right.
Yeah. And it was saying yes or no to so much and so many things that mattered to me in my life, my relationship, my girlfriend, what I was going through, my sexuality, whether she cared. And it actually was such a powerful experience that it brought tears to my eyes. I started crying because I was like, that's my fucking grandma, no doubt. So I don't want to make a joke about this whole thing. I
remember it. I remember it very well. It's like that woman was Alma Carey. She has passed.
Oh, she passed away?
2 years ago, yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah. That's why I'm so choked up. I remember that.
She was a powerful woman. I mean, she was in touch with the other side, no doubt. That was a really powerful night for me. So I'm sorry, Mala. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, I just had a general question for everyone, and it's kind of adjacent to David's property. But did anyone else know that Charles Manson was a Scientologist?
Yes, I did. Yeah. I knew that he was involved a little bit with L. Ron Hubbard. And
I read Dianetics, but I never read anything about
Charles.
Charles.
No, I would think
I did not know that.
I have a funny thing. I think there's a misconception there. I think that you got it backwards. I think that L. Ron Hubbard was a fan of Manson, because if anyone had being a sociopath personified, it wasn't L. Ron Hubbard. Sure the hell wasn't. It wasn't Jim Jones. It was Charlie Manson who wrote the book. Manson, I'm serious. I think that Manson taught L. Ron Hubbard some stuff, because think about the arc of time of when Scientology started to burgeon and take off. After 1969.
Like very cult-like behavior. That's so creepy.
And I always think about L. Ron and that guy at the laboratory that makes all the rockets that blew up when he was 34. James Parsons. Yeah.
I love that.
There's some really weird stuff that was going on with also what's the devil worshiper guy? He wrote Anton LaVey, and all those guys hung out and did some weird shit in LA. It's fascinating stuff. There's documentaries on all that stuff.
But again, I just heard from a spirit say, "You're all missing the goddamn boat. You all think it's about some type of occultist crap. You're wrong again. It's about one thing, and it's a 5-letter word: POWER, power. That's it. Has nothing to selling your soul to the devil. The core essence of everything you just said is these men were seeking out power. So were the freaking Nazis back in 1932 with their occultist movement. It wasn't about trying to get the Satan. It was about power. That's all it ever. And money. That's it. If you boil it all down to you follow the money and figure out, is there money? Where's the money going? Who's it coming from? And how's it benefiting them in power? That's it. And you got to separate the D's from the R's. There is no comparison anymore. There isn't. You can't say, well, bones better than the other. Bullshit. I'm sorry to say, there's no comparison from one to the other. One is going to the worst of both evils. No. One is evil, one isn't. That's it. End of story. You've got to stop playing these games with yourselves, you guys. You're missing the boat. It's not all about, well, one's a threat to your lives and one isn't. And you have a life, you might as well enjoy it while we have it.
Yeah. All right, wait a second. Man, you threw me with all. You got so excited about what you were talking about.
Hold on. They killed my sound. Damn it, what the fuck?
Oh, I see why he's combing his hair over. He's getting bald. He's doing the comb over.
Go on. Where the hell
You're fine. What are you looking for? Ghosts in your floor?
I think he can't hear us anymore.
Yes.
Oh, I see.
Yes.
Well, it's time to wrap up.
Can you hear me? Yeah. Can you
No,
hear
I
me?
couldn't. They killed the power.
I think we have. Do we have one more caller?
No.
No, we do not. Zach.
Oh, he took off.
Unfortunately.
Zach took off. That's
Baggins?
Hopefully it was Baggins. That would have been great. Too bad we didn't get him on in time. He's got plenty of ghost hunting to do, I guess. He sends all his people for him these days. He's so rich. Anyway, David, the house at the end of the drive, the Omen house. Check all this stuff out. Check his movie out. Go to David Oman. YouTube / David Oman. Check out all the the spirit evidence that he's found at House at the End of the Drive, at Ghosts of Cielo Drive, and at _Oman1.
Twitter, also on Instagram, it's at House End of Drive as well. Cool. Thanks for having me on, Mono.
I always love having you on, man. You're a blast. I love you, dude.
I look forward to you at the house live as well.
Yeah, I'll see you in a couple of weeks, and we'll do the show from there because I got nowhere else to do it from. So I'm sleeping on your couch.
You can stay here while you're in LA for a day or two.
All right, cool. See you soon, man.
Take care.
All right, so next week, actually, we have a little bit of a movie that our next week's guest on Dangerous Thoughts, David Halsey, did this movie called, what's it called, Tyson?
From Fat to Finish Line.
From Fat to Finish Line. I think we have a preview of the movie, and then I'll tell you a little bit more about David Halsey, our next week's guest, and we'll wrap this up.
My name is John Halsey. I am 45 years old and I've lost about 40 pounds. After the Marine Corps, it was such a subtle creep. Every year was just another pound or two. And then suddenly it's 20 years later and I'm way heavy. I'm 40, 45, 50 pounds overweight and I'm not sure how that happened. Suddenly I'm this person that I don't recognize.
That's interesting. Sorry, I said David Halsey because we were talking.
You did, and I just caught that too. John Halsey.
Yeah,
I only work with
John
him.
Halsey.
That.
Yeah, it's because we were talking to David, and he's so infectious. In the best of ways, I actually love David Oman. But John Halsey will be here next week, and we'll talk about mental health, and we'll talk about weight loss, and we'll talk about his movie. And I think it'll be a really interesting conversation, actually. I think mental health in America and across the world is such an important thing that a lot of people don't take the time to think about or empathize about, or if you haven't met someone that has any mental illness, then you don't have empathy for it. And I'm hoping that this conversation with him will bring some of that out to people that haven't had a taste of it themselves. There's a lot of people suffering from mental illness, and we need more help for those people in America. So it'll be awesome to see not David. I can't get David.
John Halsey.
John Halsey next week on Dangerous Thoughts. Tyson, it's great to see you again. It was great to be back. It's always great to be better than Jesus. We returned for real. And we'll see you next week on Dangerous Thoughts.
Take it to him. Ruin their motivation to survive. Robbers hide is like a jungle, hold the rest of a nation. You couldn't hold me like a tongue, your knees collapse in the way. Hey, gorilla hearted, I be in my chest to stay alive. Take it to him. Ruin their motivation to survive. Robbers hide is like a jungle, hold the rest of a nation. You couldn't hold me like a tongue, your knees collapse in the way. Hey, gorilla hearted, I be in my chest to stay alive. Hey.